Good morning, everybody. Whether in the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world, this is Coast to Coast. And before we jumped on air, we were talking about, you getting painted up already today, and some of the people tuning in for the facts around the countries that you are. I don't want to say representing, I guess, but kind of for the World Cup. So
yeah, you know what? It's been interesting. I obviously today. I've been trying to rep one every day. I started a couple days late, so it's not going to be a total of there's 48 teams in there, and I got to imagine I'm going to miss a few in the process of this. Sure. But I've been trying to pick teams that I believe are not going to make it far. So
I was going to say you have to start with the teams you think are going to get eliminated because you have a limited amount of time.
That's exactly correct. The hardest part about that is that every time I pick a team, they win or tie. So,
that is good in a way.
It is, I guess, for especially for these countries. Like I said, I'm picking the smaller countries. But I tell you, I've had a little bit of a growth in my social media, sure. Not as much as the goaltender from Cape Verde. That guy started the tournament before he played Spain. He had 47,000 followers on Instagram.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to do a quick search. I'll see where he's at. He is right now
300,000.
No, much more.
Okay. Exploded. Nice.
Oh, yeah. Like he was over 10 million.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's Vazahinia. Everybody's been looking him up. He's like, there we go. Vazahinia, 11.8 million followers in 2 days. 2 days. All he did was stop every shot against Spain.
I would say you earned it because that is no easy task.
Yes. He saved 24 shots on goal in soccer, and it's this guy, his whole life changed. This guy's 40 years old. And like I said, is a goaltender for a very small country in Africa. Mm-hmm. And he stopped like one of the best teams in the world.
Yep.
And tied them, which really is like a big win.
Oh, yeah. Well, especially because like as a goaltender, it's not like you're out there scoring. So, you need the rest of your team to carry some of that load.
Right.
But he did his part.
But now he's got more followers than I think it's Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I think Patrick Mahomes still has more. But there's some like fairly large names that you would think, that they, this guy's got more followers now.
No, that's awesome.
So God bless him, because now everything he puts on social media is going to make a few $100,000. And he probably was not making that much money before he came here and played soccer.
Yeah. And as it sits right now, because you're solidly in that algorithm, you pump out content.
Exactly.
Like get your PR team to just load stuff up.
So, but like I said, yesterday there was some more World Cup, beyond just this guy getting a lot of followers. There's a lot of World Cup action happening, and Messi, I tell you, there were three main players yesterday that played. Mbappe, who everybody seems to know there, he scored a goal. He scored 2 goals actually. And for Norway, you have this guy Holland, he scored 2 goals, but Lionel Messi, not to be undone, gets the hat trick.
Mhm.
Scores all 3 goals for Argentina. And France beats Senegal 3-1. Norway beats Iraq 4-1.
Yeah.
And the guy who scored for Iraq kind of scored twice because he scored an own goal.
Mm.
It's like, hey, I scored a goal, then I scored another goal. It just counted for the other team.
Yeah, that's always scary when it comes to World Cup play, because it always makes me think back to that guy that got shot because of an own goal by his fans.
Yeah.
And, so anytime you see that happen, and there's been a couple of them this World Cup already, and you're just like, ooh, man, like soccer fans are different.
They are different. Erwin, to answer your question, it's going to depend on how they start. He will start this game against Australia on Friday. They pulled him at halftime. They gave him the rest because there was no need for him to play.
Mhm.
I think that they don't. He's more of a. If he can move, he's going to be able to pass the ball. I mean, yeah, that's kind of what he was doing in the first game there. That the defense, shaded towards him, and that left other guys open, which I suspect will still continue to happen against Australia. Australia did come out and get a big win against Turkey. Turkey was supposed to be the better of the 2 teams, and Australia put a beat down on them. So it's that's going to be an interesting game. And I'll be around on Friday to check it out.
Yeah, I'll be watching that one. I'll be watching that one.
Well, I mean, that's right in your backyard.
Yeah, I won't be there watching it.
So you wouldn't go down, like it's not something that you would check out down at the, like, around the stadium area? You have no interest in that?
I was thinking about doing it, but as hectic as my schedule has been, I'm enjoying a couple of days not driving to Seattle. So, because I mean, it takes it's about an hour and a half drive down there.
Yeah, that's a pain.
So to go down there, hour and a half, fight to find some parking, to chat with fans that are wandering around. I don't know. Like, if I was going to the game, maybe, but just to go down there and get a couple of sound bites, it's all right. There's enough reporters down there.
Okay. I mean, I understand. I get it. But yeah, Messi is an absolute beast. He just like it. And you know what? Watching that game, the goaltender, I mean, he never really had a chance on any one of those shots. I mean, it's just, talk about a guy who knows how to put it on net. Like, that's the biggest thing on soccer. He's not killing the ball so much that it goes over the net, because that's what happens a lot of the time. You give it everything you got and it sails.
Yeah,
he is the best at just taking a little bit off of it to be able to make sure it gets in the net, because you see all the time how much a little bit makes a difference. He's hitting corners. I mean, the first goal, the goaltender got both hands on it and it still went in the net.
Talking about Messi.
And the other thing about it is that you're on the pitch and you are watching him. Mm-hmm. You cannot do that. You cannot watch him. It's amazing how open he gets, and people are like, first off, he's small. So It's like he comes out of nowhere and he's like, oh, here I am, goal. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's very interesting on how he gets around and stuff like that. And when he's got the ball, everybody's watching. And it's like you can't play him that way. You have to play him. You have to have somebody mirror him the entire time. That's exactly it.
No, a hat trick is amazing anytime. And in the World Cup, obviously, that's huge.
Right. I do wish that, I mean, I'm hearing a lot of different things. And listen, it's all hearsay because I am not a part of this team. But even that his team is not big fans of him. Well, they're big fans of him when he scores 3 goals in a game and he wins the game. It's like they're fans of that.
Well, but that's always been the knock, right? Like he's not Ronaldo, right? Where he's friendly and everybody likes him. Like the knock on him is he's a jerk.
Right.
Like he's great. He knows he's great, and he's like standoffish and not that friendly, and it's just his personality and whatever, right? You're paying him to make goals, so fair enough. But when you compare those two players who are both at the top of the sport, there's one that you're just like, okay, this guy seems like genuinely a nice guy, and this other guy you're like, yeah, I don't know, kind of seems like a douche, like. But he still puts it in the back of the net, and that's what matters when you're playing soccer.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter how old he gets. It's like you think of Pele, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously we are too young or too old, too young to really remember Pele.
Yeah.
But he was absolutely, he was, the Michael Jordan of soccer for a long time. Is that the best way to say it? He was the Pele of soccer.
He was that guy. There's no doubt. Speaking of that guy, we have our guy Cam in the green room here. What's up?
What's up, fellas? Sorry for the hold up. And Bo, you are that guy. What's up? What's up, Jamie?
What's happening?
What's up, my man? How you feeling? I'm so glad you made it today and now we got all the World Cup stuff out of the way, because I tell you, I broke my arm, both arms, patting myself on the back that I got it right.
Well, yeah, the East Coast buyers came through for you, huh? It worked out this time.
Well, listen, it's pretty funny when you say, hey, listen, I think that he's got to score 40 points to win the game, and 36 points and then 45 points.
Right.
So it's like, and they only scored 94 points in the whole game. And so he literally put the team on his back completely and won those games.
All credit.
I did make something for you, Cam.
What's that?
This was specifically with you in mind.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Never.
Fuck that. Oh, come on. Oh. You know what?
She's gonna cry in the car.
Come on, that's funny.
You know what? It would have been funny if you had somebody throw an egg at him while he was running to the car. That would have been funny. That would have been funny. Man, how quickly things change. Last week he was MVP of the league, receiving all the praise from everybody across every corner of the country, and then this week here, yeah, that was cold. Right? I'm with you right there. Hey, Wemby, Bo, now you've been added to the list. You've been added to Wemby's list, and I'm sending them the clip, Bo. I'm personally sending them the clip. I'm telling on you.
Do it.
I'm telling on you. This guy, has he made the quickest heel turn? I say the quickest heel turn that we've seen an athlete make. He goes from being highly praised, highly recognized, just 2 weeks ago, to now 2 weeks later, being videos made about him running to the car after he got his chain took by the Knicks.
It was funny because that was really less to do with him and more to do with you. But
fair enough. I'll take it.
You can, poke at your friends. Why not?
Yeah, I've had 6 solid months of propping that dude up, so I'll take it. I'll take it.
And listen, and you know what? He's going to be back next year. He's going to see these finals again, probably very soon. So I'm not really too sad for him.
Yeah,
you know
he's
what
going to be fine.
Oh, no. Not sad of him. Let's talk about, if you guys don't mind, I'm sure you guys have covered it the last couple of days. The finals is over on Saturday. But can we talk about what you guys' thoughts are on the Knicks and where they rank historically? Obviously, they've had a historical playoff run. I'm not going to say they're the best playoff team ever. However, statistics have them right there with anyone you can think of. The 17 Warriors, the 93 Bulls, their winning percentage in the playoffs have them right there.
No.
Where do you guys think they are as far as champions?
It's funny because they absolutely had an incredible run, right?
Yeah.
And you can say whatever you want about the competition. You play whoever you play, right? At the same time, I think what's more impressive about it, and this is just for me, is I always look at playoff Knicks as they're gonna just dismantle themselves, right? Like they're just gonna find ways to lose, and for them to continue to prove everybody wrong, really game in and game out, especially coming back from double-digit deficits in every game in the finals. Incredibly impressive. And I mean, with every game, I'm like, is this the last one for them? And so, I mean, for them to actually get the thing done, win it all. Brunson obviously had the entirety of the media saying he's too small. He's not going to be able to win a championship. All of these things. I mean, they were playing angry. Like they couldn't figure out how to play in the first quarter. But after that,
right.
They rallied back and got the wins. So, it's impressive. And then when you go back and look at the entirety of it and you see how they were beating everybody, the fact that they only lost 2 games through the whole thing anyway, 2 or 3, it really impressive.
Yeah. As far as, I mean, now I'm going to play a little biased here.
Of course, we expect that. We expect that from anybody in the Northeast. The bias is already there, fans. It's there.
It doesn't beat the faux, with Irving and Moses Malone and Maurice Cheeks, and so I mean for me, that is like, even when you think about it like that, they were such a dominant team that year in the playoffs that that's going to be very hard to top. Watching this Knicks team, and I think about it, and I think about how Villanova won the championships, 10 years ago, and then now it's like that, this almost the same team minus a couple of small pieces. I mean, obviously Karl Anthony Towns was not on that Villanova team, but it was a big part of these wins here. I look at all that and I think about how Jay Wright back then, how he must have, it was amazing to watch Villanova, a small school, win 2 national championships in 3 years.
A small school.
It's small in comparison to a lot of these, in comparison to Kentucky, in comparison to Duke, and in comparison to
it's not a blue blood. Okay, it's not a blue blood. You can't call Villanova a small school.
Well, it's not a big school. You know what I mean? It doesn't go on the same power as some of these large universities, state-run universities.
In what respect?
because you see a lot of these state run. Like I would put it on par with Gonzaga. Like Gonzaga is a smaller school. Xavier. He's always walking away from me.
This guy did he just compare Gonzaga to Villanova?
Well,
How?
Villanova actually can finish.
I think Gonzaga would relish that comparison. I think Gonzaga would relish that comparison.
But yeah, I'm sure they would too, because Villanova's won and
Exactly.
Gonzaga gets beat.
That's not a comparison, Jaime.
But I'm talking in school size.
Yeah.
Just in size.
Not
That's
success
all I'm
rate.
talking about.
Okay. Okay.
That being said,
I don't
Jay
know
Wright.
the population of Villanova. I don't even know. Let me look it up. Go ahead, continue. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I just you comparing Villanova to Gonzaga. I think there's
that's why he always has to get up. He's doing research. He's got like the Dewey Decimal System off camera there. He's got to go resort to the cards.
Yeah, Dewey. when he makes that comparison, yes, I have to resort to the Dewey Decimal System. I'm sorry. Continue your speech, buddy.
And of course, for everybody that's too young watching this show, that is where there's some cards that was in this thing called a library. And
Villanova has 10,300 students.
Compared to Gonzaga?
I didn't check Gonzaga, but let's find out. Gonzaga student population is 7,500. So I mean,
you're not that far off.
But just let's.
They're not that far off.
Right,
but I would never. The history of Villanova.
But they're not. You're not talking about the history. You're just talking about the size.
But Bo, when we're talking, my assumption is when he says the same, they're on the same size. I'm thinking like they're on the same par. I don't think anybody considering Villanova is going to go to Gonzaga. Now,
no.
Somebody
he was literally talking about the student body size of the school.
Right, because like Duke has got 18,000. You know what I mean? Just in comparison, and not that. And listen, there used to be a Big Five in Philadelphia, where it was St. Joe's and Temple, and they were in the mix of this. Penn, where the a good basketball player in the region would go to one of those schools. And now Temple, ever since John Chaney left the program, Temple has been flailing. They used to be a great basketball organization, university, not anymore, which is a shame. And like Penn is an Ivy League school, and they'll every 4 to 5 years they will make a little bit of a run. But Villanova has owned it. St. Joe's can't compete with Villanova anymore in terms of getting the talent to go there. They haven't really had anybody since Jameer Nelson, who is now the vice president of basketball operations of the Philadelphia 76ers, which I'm actually really happy for him. It's
Jameer is the vice president of basketball operations?
Yeah.
What? Wow.
Yeah. That happened a few days ago.
Okay.
Okay. So, and I'm really excited about that because Jameer grew up right down the street from me. You know what I mean? He grew up in Chester. I grew up in Ridley. It's literally right across the street from each other in a real sense. So it's, Chester was a much tougher town than Ridley was. I will say that. It was harder to grow up in Chester, and still is. But
the suburbs of Ridley was pretty comfortable, is what you're saying, huh?
Well, Ridley, listen, you didn't go through Ridley and do stuff wrong, because Ridley is the only municipality in the country that has red cop cars. Yes. It's a funny thing to think about, but red cop cars, when you see the red cop car, run. You don't want to get caught. But that being said,
that's a
neither here nor
random
there.
fact.
That is a random
Right,
fact. I'm full of
right.
them today. I am full of them today.
Yep.
Just
So-
ask me about
so-
Uzbekistan.
So, do you have? What's the chances of your Villanova Knicks repeating as champions?
Honestly, I think 0.
Zero.
I won't say 0. I give it a small chance. I think that now everybody's gunning for them. I think that also a good, healthy Celtics team not only would have beaten the Sixers, but would have given them a much harder run.
Sure.
Again, I feel like that the coaching of the Celtics did a little damage to them, that they lived and died by the 3 ball. Had they changed that thought process a little bit, they could have definitely did better, but
I'm looking for my
right.
hand.
You're the kid in the back. Like what?
I'm looking for my hand raise option. When you say no, kudos to the Knicks. This is a very unique championship, obviously. Not only the way they won, the compilation of talent that they actually brought together. It wasn't like they drafted these 5 guys and stuck them together and they grew up to this. They found parts across the Anunoby, Karl-Anthony Towns, who I've never been a big fan of. They wouldn't identify Jalen Brunson as their guy. I mean, the coach's son. He'll work out. I don't think they thought that the coach's son is going to turn into arguably the greatest American or the best American basketball player that we have in America. I don't know that was an anticipation, but give them credit for putting these pieces together. Give Mike Brown credit for him being a career journeyman head coach, picking up some pieces from Steve Kerr, from Greg Popovich, and putting that in action when he had a chance at his only finals appearance. No, excuse me. Let me take that back. He was in the finals with the LeBron. In the final appearance with none of those people that he was there with him before, or that got him that opportunity. He actually won with a team that was the underdog. That was huge. Credit to Mike Brown for that. I got to recognize haven't been a Karl-Anthony Towns fan in his whole career. He actually got the Knicks started off to an 0-2 start by outplaying Victor Wembanyama.
Mm-hmm.
We saw that wasn't sustainable. However, what type of confidence boost did that give Karl-Anthony Towns going into next season? Now he feels not only is he a champion, but he's outplayed kind of the world's guy in a couple games in NBA Finals. What kind of bump does that give him next season? Mikal Bridges, always calm, composure, the guy who doesn't say anything. But they went to him. He had big points in the finals game that actually mattered to them winning a championship. What type of bump now does he get? Does he get more aggressive? Does he get more confident? Does he become more comfortable with himself in the skills that he has to outshine some of the competition? Like these are questions that the Knicks had coming into the season that were answered emphatically by winning the championship. Not a Knicks fan, not a fan of anything New York, anything I-95, anything I-90 corridor. Not a fan of any of that. I-90 in the Northeast. Let me correct that.
Yeah.
However, when I look back at it and talk about it, that was an impressive championship run that I have to give the Knicks credit for. You guys' thoughts on the Knicks and winning their championship?
Go ahead.
I liked it. I was happy that they beat the Spurs. I feel like the Spurs are the NBA darling.
Yeah, no, I mean, like it was great for them, right? I mean, and that being said, to Irwin's thing, which was a bigger surprise, Knicks easily.
Oh, do you count? You had Indiana going to the
But
CFP?
if you're going from the very beginning of the season,
Yeah.
would I have thought that the Knicks were going to win the championship? No.
No chance.
Was I going to think Indiana going to win the national championship? No. So neither one, and from the beginning of the season. When the playoffs started, did I think the Knicks were going to win the championship? No. Did I think Indiana was going to win the championship? Yes.
Yeah.
So just when the playoffs started, I thought.
If you're talking
I
before
wasn't
the
sure
season,
about Indiana. No, I wasn't
no.
sure about Indiana once the playoffs started. Obviously, we get a chance to see how they develop throughout the season before the playoffs. But I wasn't. I thought Miami had them beat, except Miami doesn't have a quarterback. So,
I mean, we were during the playoffs. I didn't think the Knicks were going to win.
And to win as convincing as they did. You know what I mean? Like there were.
Yeah. So I don't know how to square that, because when you look at historical comparisons, like they're right up there with the 17 Warriors and the 93 Bulls.
Yeah. So
Obviously,
the thing is you weren't watching this Knicks team just in a vacuum. You were watching this Knicks team with 53 years of melting down. And you understand it's not that same team, but it's been a lot of different players and coaches, and it's been the same result for years and years and years. So, they had a couple of years throughout there that they made it to the finals. I get it. But at the same time, they hadn't won it. And so you're not watching this in a vacuum where you're like just enjoying what they're doing right this second. You still had history influencing your thought process of watching these games. And that's why even when we were on this show, it was just like, man, they're having a good run, but at some point the Knicks are going to nick it up. Right. And they didn't this time. But again, you had all those years of watching them do it. So it influences your thought process. History doesn't just, disappear. Whereas conversely, when you're talking about Indiana, did you think they were going to do anything going in? No, of course not. But the landscape of college football has changed to the point that once you saw what they were doing and the players that they brought in and how it was working, you're like, okay, no, these guys have a shot to win it all. You were going into the playoffs and you're like, yeah, the Knicks are probably going to get blown out in the second round.
Is the way we weren't talking college football at the time, but is the way the Indiana Hoosiers won the college football championship, is that sustainable?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
is that
of the way,
for
because
them?
of the money.
For them,
Yeah.
or for any other school?
Well, I think that Indiana had created the book on how you go and get
the formula. Go get some seniors and twice out of college football players that couldn't make it in the pros or couldn't make training camp.
2s and 3-star guys, and put them together and coach them right. And not have to spend they spent what, $20 million. There was $20 million spent in NIL money for this team. And I feel like that they were the ones that did it right. You're now seeing all these other universities say, hey, we got $50 million, $70 million, $90 million to try to make this work.
Northeast schools.
I'm
busting your chops. Go ahead. I'm busting your chops.
East schools, because I think Georgia, Georgia's going to be in that mix, and they're
South Carolina, Clemson. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So it's like, I think that's what started. They put together the blueprint that other universities are going to start to follow. So is it sustainable? I think for the immediate future, yes. Ultimately, that coach is going to get his opportunity to go coach in the pros.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I agree. I think, like you said, they created a formula for everybody to follow. And I expect we'll see, and I'm just throwing out a name there, we'll see a Rutgers come out of nowhere from with all of a sudden they have top talent. All of a sudden they have top talent. So we'll see some like Rutgers or God forsake Oregon come out ahead of this situation. Although Oregon, they invest a lot in their players already. Maybe I should say Oregon State and do something like that if they can get out of the Pac-2 into a play.
Well, I mean, the thing that's funny is they're going to have a really good chance to come out of that conference because now that conference is bowl eligible again because they've added all those schools, they're one of the better teams in there. There's only really 3 teams that are going to have a shot at winning that thing every year, and it's going to be the Beavers, it's going to be Wazoo, and Boise State. Everybody else is, thanks for playing. Yeah.
So I think with that formula, using that similar formula that Indiana used, I think that is a sustainable program for college football teams to use and get them in contention. Hey, you want to be in contention because just getting in the tournament. Now there might be 12 or 16 teams in the tournament, and I mean, how long is this tournament is going to be? All of December. The college football tournament is going to be every weekend in December, and there might be 2 weekends where they have 2 games because they're just going to be so many teams. They just keep adding teams to the docket.
I think 16 is where they want to wrap that thing up, but still, to your point,
we're going to get to 16, and they're going to say, "Oh, Florida State didn't get in this year. They should have got in."
By the time you get to 16, you've lost a couple of games, so you no longer have that like, "Oh, we should have got there." It's like, yeah, you should have won more games. Like,
well, I think that they go to 14.
You think they go to 14 games?
14 or 14 I like 12. I like 12. I think that the top 2 should absolutely be. So that's what makes me think 14, that the top 2 teams would get the bye. So just the top 2.
It sounds like it's getting expanded. So everything I've read is it sounds like it's getting expanded. It would be to 14 first, but it sounds like it'll get to 16.
Yeah, and then you got the number 1 team playing the number 16 team.
Yeah, that's. I think 12 is a good number. I mean, this is college football. They don't need the tournament can't last more than 3 weeks in college football. Like that's preposterous.
Well, I agree that I don't love the idea. Again, at the end of the day, 12 seemed fine.
Yeah.
Right.
And the only reason why I like 14 is because you're not adding a week. You are just changing the amount of buys. You're not getting 4 buys. You're giving 2 buys.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but I got you. Money does talk. But
and then is it they're going to do it so that every bowl game is part of the playoff? Because that might be.
I would have made that call.
It's already weird that you can win multiple bowl games now. Right?
Yeah. But I would have made that call though. I think I would have made that call before or incorporated the significant bowl games into the tournament somehow. But I think there's too many bowl games. We know that. And I would have started by paring down the bowl games. Okay, you take the top 5, the Orange Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, Arizona had the Fiesta Bowl, and you rotate those for the national championships. I like that idea. That's fine. Everybody gets a piece of it. 5 years later, everybody has got all the huge bowls. The Rose Bowl I left out. Get a piece of that big time action. I like that. The other bowls, I think should.
And of course, by the other bowls, you mean things like the Pop-Tart Bowl. And
I wasn't including the Pop-Tart Bowl or the Raisin Bran Bowl or the Pee-wee Wheat Eater Bowl. I wasn't including those bowls. Those are the bowls that we should have be right after Thanksgiving. Those bowls should start after Thanksgiving and be done by the second week in December. All those
bowls shouldn't even happen. Especially
it's a money grab. No, but I'm not going to say that because
I understand it's a money grab. I'm just saying you're having bowl games with teams with losing records because teams that were eligible are pulling out, and now you have losing record teams in bowl games. Which come on. Some of that. I am a fan
of win
and get in. I'm a fan of win and get in.
I think Oregon State should have a bowl to go to. If they have an 8-2 record and they've beaten a couple good teams, they should have a bowl to go to. If not, they're not going to the Gator Bowl. They're not going to the Cotton Bowl, but they should have in their season playing in the pulling Weed Eater Bowl in New Mexico. I mean, give them a bowl game, give them some prizes. They play.
If you are 8-2 when they expand the playoff, you might be in the playoff.
Fair enough. fair enough. I was going 8-2 off of their initial record to begin with, knowing that they played kind of six pansies and then played probably two big schools and they beat one of them. Yeah, that qualifies them for a bowl. The fruit.
Yeah. So, and here's the other thing. That I am interested to find out, because they just put something in writing now that the second Saturday in December, there will be, you could play on Friday, you could play on Sunday, but you cannot play football on Saturday between noon and 4 o'clock, because that is when they're going to have the Army Navy game that they have allotted that. And it's become now, Trump kind of signed this executive order saying that will be the only, beyond the politics. I don't care about the politics part, but that's going to be the only game that's going to be able to be playing football during that time. That it's become the national tradition, and that's when Army is going to play Navy, and no other football game can be played during that time. That being said,
when's the last time you watched an Army Navy game?
Every year.
Every year you watch the Army Navy. Well,
I'm a Navy veteran, so
it's played in your.
It's played in my world, yes.
But
I'm also a Navy veteran.
Rotates. So doesn't it rotate from Virginia to Philly?
It does. Yeah, no longer in Philly every year. It used to be in Philly every year. Now it's in Philly like once every 8 years because everybody else was crying about it. Although it really should only be in Philadelphia, but that's beside the point.
Why isn't it in Virginia though? How did it get to Philly and not in Virginia? To where isn't that where the West Point is in Virginia?
No, West Point's in New York. So West Point's in New York. Annapolis is in Maryland.
Annapolis, okay.
So it's always been in Philadelphia because that was where both the Army and Navy were signed into existence. So that's why it was supposed to be done in Philadelphia. That being said, it doesn't matter where they play.
Crap.
Yeah. It doesn't matter where they play. The fact that they are going to have that allotted time for that game, and that's the only game that's going to play. Now, here's my question. What happens if one of these teams are ranked?
Or what now?
They're ranked.
If it's a ranked team, yeah.
Did they go into the playoffs?
We don't really have to worry about that too much, guys.
No, we don't have to very much, but there has been times where
come on, guys. Come on,
Army,
82 years. They've been playing 82 years, guys, and twice have they been in college bowl eligible.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Not true. No, not true. That's Army. Army has had, they were ranked 18th when they lost to Navy a couple of years ago. I listen, I get it. They are the old school college offenses. You still see them do the wing offense.
The wing T. And you want to see somebody, you want to see the wing T line up against the Indiana Hoosiers who have bought 17 players. I
didn't say that it would be worth it. I asked, what are you going to do? What's going to happen if Navy, who has had decent teams,
not even worth the conversation, in my opinion.
Well, the thing is,
my opinion, obviously.
The thing is,
I'm sitting in the kitchen here in Washington. So,
yeah, but I mean, they have been ranked, so it's a real question.
Well, they rank where, Bo? What have they been in the top 5? Have they been in the top 10? Have they been in consideration
for a long time?
How many teams get in the playoff again? I'm pretty sure it's not 5.
No.
No.
My question is, wherever they have been ranked. My question is, wherever they have been ranked, have they been a contender in contention for a title?
That's not the conversation. You're talking about this bowl game and then having to play another bowl game.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's not a bowl game. That's a regular season game for both of those teams.
For sure. But I
That-
mean, like it's happening during
The start of bowl
the start of
seasons.
bowl games.
The playoff.
So all of a sudden there's a scheduling thing there. That's what we're talking about.
So
You don't
then that order that our president signed would be nothing. Or how would that change? How would that change then if the
That's
playoffs
literally
start
what we're
this
talking
weekend?
about.
Yeah.
You were just so
How-
mad about them being ranked.
I mean, I'm thinking that it's not I'm mad about them being ranked. It's something that we don't even have to consider. That's the point I was making.
See, that's not
they
true
haven't been
though,
ranked.
because Army was ranked 2 years ago.
They were ranked where, Bo? They were ranked where? They were in the top 25.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
they're taking the top 15 teams for the bowl games, right? We just established as the top 15 teams.
Yeah.
Top
So
four.
so here's the fun thing about that. You win one more game, they were in that.
Bo, if I grew another inch, if I grew 6 more inches, I'd be somebody else. You wouldn't be talking to me right now. So the way the things are, I don't think that
the difference is one of those things can happen.
Let's look at history. When
October
have
of
they been-
2024,
Okay.
both teams were ranked in the top 25.
Okay.
Army and Navy were both ranked in the top 25.
What was their ranking?
When I think Army was as high as 15.
I remember at that time it was like 18 and 24 somewhere in October, and then Navy lost and fell out. But Army was like 6-0 that season.
Yeah.
And
I don't
Again,
think
we're
it's
just
that
talking
often.
about what happens if they happen to get in.
I get it, and my only point in response to that was I don't think it's deserved much consideration because it hasn't happened that often that they've been ranked. When it
Yeah,
comes
but it
down,
doesn't have to happen every year. It just has to actually happen because
let it happen. Let
this is an
Army and
executive
Navy be
order.
in the top 15. I would love to have this conversation if Army and Navy were ranked top 15 going into this November, going into Thanksgiving, to where this is even in consideration.
well,
what we're
it
saying
only
is-
matters if one of the teams are even in consideration in the process
Yeah,
of
it
that.
doesn't have to be both. But the biggest thing is this game now happens on a specific time and date. So if it happens, it's a consideration, because then all of a sudden you're like, okay, well, what's that do to the schedule?
How did
And then
how
on
would
top of that,
We're not
How
saying
did-
they're just magically going to be a juggernaut. Like what? Like you
How-
took
how-
it a very
how did-
different way.
how did the way I took it is that this is potentially going to happen. How did December, the second week in December, become the Army Navy game day? Oh, how did that one?
well,
how did
that's
that come about?
that's typically when it's done.
Okay.
It's always been
like
like
the
that.
last game of the season, towards the last game of the season, right?
The reason why they do the second weekend is because they don't want it to be on the 1st of December. They want it to be around December 11th. Yeah.
And what's the significance of that date? Is there any significance of that? I have zero idea. So I'm just legitimately asking. I have zero idea. I don't know.
I don't know. I was going to say D-Day, but I thought that was November 11th. So
No, D-Day was December 7th, wasn't it?
that's so maybe that's the reason why they're having it close to that time. They don't want to have it. They make it the second weekend because they don't want it to be, like I said, they don't want it to be on the 1st or the 2nd of December. They push it to the second weekend. So it could be as deep as the 13th or 14th, as early as the 9th, the 8th of the 9th.
Sure.
So, but that's probably the reason why. You know what I mean? It's probably has to do with the 7th, December 7th. But I don't get to make that choice. That's just where they've always played it. And being a Navy veteran, like I said, I watch it every year.
Do you go to the game? Have you been to the game?
I have been to the game.
The Army Navy?
In fact, I have been now I'm starting to get requests for me to go to the game. They're going to get me a jersey and me to paint up Navy for them because I've become that much of a celebrity, I guess. that's not a pat on my back. It's just
well, go ahead, break your arm again. Break for the third time this week. For the third time in a week, go ahead, break your arm. Congratulations, and thank you for your service. It was mentioned earlier, but we appreciate your service. So a lot of you guys are braver than us who would just talk behind the mic because I couldn't take somebody yelling in my face to tell me to get better, get stronger, stand up straight.
I'll be honest with you, I couldn't do it.
Well, you did it. You did it. What do you mean you couldn't do it? You did it.
No, I did it, but that doesn't mean I was great at it.
I wasn't trying to grade your performance. I wasn't trying to grade your ironing, your bait making skills. I was just saying you did it. I was giving you congratulations for doing it. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate it. Thank you. But like I said, that was just a thought process that could throw a wrench into all of the things that we're talking about, just because it's going to be that type of weirdo situation that would force because they would set up the playoffs and then that game would happen, which means that, and it doesn't matter where Army's ranked or where Navy's ranked. Those games are always super contentious. And it's usually the team that's ranked is the team that loses.
Oh, for sure. No, that is a game that I watch every year just because it's a fun game to watch and you are looking into the past. Like especially for Army, when you're looking at the offense for the Army, it's funny because it's stuff you haven't seen in any other program for 40 years.
Hey, listen, we're going to run the ball and then we're going to run the ball. And then we're going to run the ball.
We're going to line up 3 running backs to run the ball.
No, I can't say the last time. I don't even know, and I feel kind of bad even mentioning this. The last time I watched the Army Navy game, I don't even know who he played for. He was a contender. He potentially getting drafted, the quarterback for one of the teams. I can't even remember, was he quarterback for the Army or the Navy, but he was potentially going to get drafted, but he had to do his 2 years afterwards. So I don't think we heard anything about this guy had to be 6 or 7 years ago, where the guy, he was a really good quarterback, had a chance to get drafted, but he had to do his 2-year stint. So coming out of that, he never got drafted.
Right. I will tell you that I graduated.
Go ahead.
I grew up and graduated a year after Bob Kuberski.
Bob. That's right. Bob was a solid dude. Bob was a solid dude.
Yeah, and he went to Annapolis. He wound up getting drafted. He still had to do his 2 years. He wound up being the backup to only the best defensive end at that time and quite possibly ever, Reggie White. So he did get his ring. And I still keep in contact with him. He's still, he's an amazing guy and does a lot of charity work and such. And the fact that we both, like I said, are Navy veterans, he was an officer and I just was an enlisted guy. That all doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's like, but he was one of them. Of course, I hate talking about Cowboys, but the one Cowboy I will always respect is Roger Staubach. You know what I mean? He was an Annapolis guy and spent his time and then went there and won Super Bowls. So,
but he wouldn't fight a war, didn't he? Did he have to fight in a war, Starbuck?
I want to say was it Korea? I know he didn't go to Vietnam, but it might have been Korea. Mm-hmm. That was it. Pat Tillman, different story. Pat Tillman was an Army guy. He left the NFL
to enlist. Yeah, exactly.
To enlist. So that's
very impressive. Very, very impressive. Very impressive.
And it's if you go by the story of what happened there, I mean, it's a shame. I am, I'm not going to put on my tinfoil hat. I think that he was a hero for what he did. He gave up the money to, defend his country. And
you don't think that somebody didn't like it? Somebody on the squad didn't like it? Didn't like
no. I think that he was, like he could have been a Green Beret. Like he was too much of an athlete. And to say that he was killed in friendly fire, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know about any of that stuff and what have you, but it wouldn't surprise me that he was killed in action and made into, a Green Beret or a SEAL or of some sort. He was just too much of a specimen.
Yeah.
I didn't bring up Tillman.
No, somebody else did. No, somebody else did. That's
No,
saying.
it's somebody in the chat is saying.
Yeah, Irwin did. Yeah.
Yeah, and I so it wouldn't surprise me to find that, like I said, I love the fact that they he was a hero to a lot of people and still is, and should be, but it wouldn't surprise me if he is still serving his country.
Yeah, I mean he did.
Okay.
Kudos to Tillman. Kudos to Tillman. That took a different turn there, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But anyways, but that's what we're talking about in terms of
the assistant in the house, huh? You got assistants, interns working over for you. Look at my guy. Look at my guy.
Man.
I'm gonna get there one day.
I thank God it's only in my ear and she didn't hear that.
That is exactly right. That is exactly right. Because although it would have been bad for you, it would have been fun for us. And the last 5 minutes of this show would have been highly rated. Because we would have saw the preview of a show called Snapped.
That's funny. Are you guys into the World Cup? How deep into the World Cup you guys are?
Every day I represent a different country.
Yeah, and that's actually what we've opened the show with.
Yeah, I heard. I'm glad I came in when I did. But you guys are into it. How are you representing a different country every day? You got some homework to do, buddy.
I do every day.
Or your intern is helping you. Or your intern is helping you with that.
I don't have any interns, so I got to do it all myself, including all my makeup and everything. But if you follow me on Instagram, you would see that every day I paint my face, and I've already done it today and showered. But today I represented Uzbekistan, who is playing against Colombia tonight at 10 o'clock. And I gave some fun facts about that and, explained that there were 36 million people that live in Uzbekistan. It's one of 2 countries in the world that's double landlocked and has the largest producing gold mine in the world.
And Pags has actually had pretty good luck representing countries when he's worn their colors. They've either won or tied. And so when he does this next one, you can bet alongside us right here. And using this QR code, you can bet for whatever team he has dressed up as and potentially win some money. But if you don't, 10% bet guarantee. That being said, we do got to get out of here. We are at the top of the show. If you are on the radio, 97.3, we do have some smooth jazz headed your way. And of course, everywhere else, be sure to like and subscribe. Helps us bring our stuff to you. Otherwise, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Take it easy, everybody.
Have a good one.
Peace.